Good morning, all. The second last day of 2021. I hope everyone's got their New Year's Eve plans in place. A tad more life in the market today, but not much, as one would expect. We are a little bit higher on fair value on the S&P. We are about 4 handles off the high. Again, you can see we're just under that 4,800 level on the S&P, slightly over it on cash. As far as oil goes, we did have a run at 77, Freudian slip, 77 last night. And we have come back down 76.20 on. Natural gas, as not unexpected there, back at that bottom of that range, down at 375 odd. With weather, I'll just tell you this, that here we are in Houston. We've had the air conditioner on a few days, and we are, between Christmas and New Year. If you want to think, last year, in a few weeks' time, we had that awful Arctic blast. So really different this time of the year as far as the heat goes. I understand it's very cold on other parts of the world. We won't bore you with the shelf over there in Alaska, the Alaska Ridge. So that's pretty well, you need that in play to get that kind of cold. Okay, let's move right into what's happened overnight. The news just continues with the Omnicron, the old Omnicron. Fair value, depending on where you take it at, we are up more now. So we are going to have a good open. As far as overnight news, the big story yesterday was Samsung interested in buying Biogen. Remember, Biogen was up, I want to say 10%. It's actually given back nearly 7% on that after Samsung denied talks to acquire it. We mentioned Micron at the end of yesterday. They were off. They're still off on the lockdown of Cheyenne, I think it is, XI''AN. JetBlue's down a touch, but remember all these airliners were hit yesterday after reducing its flight schedule. As far as overnight, we also had South Korea come out with industrial production of 5.1%, very robust again. Though their retail sales were low, but they're one of the big engines in that part of the world, therefore the world. And back on Samsung, they're actually the largest now. Samsung's overtook Intel. There's a couple of good articles for you there to read. One about China wanting to increase their treasuries in a record amount. In other words, issue more bonds. They say they're going to keep a handle on interest rates, i.e. pushing them lower. If they're going to push that many bonds, and the world's wary of investing in China for obvious reasons, with their instability, then that leads to just printing more money if they're going to be able to do that, because at the end of the day, it's supply and demand. So that's another factor out last night. And as far as stagflation seems to be a big thing, wage inflation, a poll conducted by Nikkei overnight showed that only 18% of Japanese companies plan to raise their wages by 3%. And that's pretty well it as far as news goes overnight. We're seeing European stocks all up. The stocks itself is up 0.3%. Then between everything seems to be fairly low, like 0.1 to 0.3, kind of similar to what we have here in the US, even though as you can see here, the US market's falling just a little bit back to test the lower end of that overnight range. So as we mentioned yesterday in the overnight wrap-up, lots of games going on in the options world, hoping to keep that 4,800 at bay, given the amount there. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, Chinese and other Asian, actually Chinese market was up last night. The other Asian markets were all down or unchanged. As far as what we got coming out today, every Thursday, remember, we have the jobless claims numbers. That's your big one, and every Thursday we have natural gas. You can set your clock at that unless we have a holiday. So we also have coming out, let me just bring that up. Did I miss? Yeah, Chicago PMI is the big one. We have a couple of bond options. They're just 4 and 8 week bill options, so don't expect much there. Tomorrow it's going to be an all-day holiday in Japan. The United Kingdom will close early and Australia will close early. We will also have out tomorrow the rig report, and we have a normal day basically, from what I can see there. Okay, let's go through the charts real quick. Okay, so we got that bull flag threatening to break out. We got this roof. You need that roof to catch on fire, as that song goes. So you can see we're just getting pushed up on this hourly cloud, i.e. there's demand. So that would suggest that with vol falling, a lot of these 4,800 have been rolled or taken profit on. Remember, that's a tax treatment too, given that we're straddling the new year. So we have that on our hourly. Nothing changed there. Daily, nothing changed. So let's have a quick look at the really short term overnight. So this looks like massive moves, but it's really a function of not going anywhere. So this whole move that you're seeing here is 8 handles. Right, so it's algos chasing algos. Remember, it's very thin. Be very careful at this time of the year. As far as Nasdaq, it was the weak guy yesterday, and it's the weak guy today. So that's a lot to do. We saw the tech, a lot of profit taking, a lot of weakening. That we had that big update 2 days ago. It seems to be that things needed to pull back there. And Russell makes the same. Apple had another run at 180. 180 is a big level for that as well. It got away from it the other day to 180, 150 or so. Can they get that 3 trillion? They've got to have something to talk about, don't they? So keep that in mind. Oil. We do have a red spike. Remember, we went higher overnight, as I said right at the start there. 77. They tried that. Didn't quite get there. So we're working off that. That's in that high there. This is your daily. Bigger picture though, this can obviously be a larger ABC. That can be 1, this can be 2, 3. So you have 2. Be very mindful and respect your levels. So that can be anything. We have an OPEC meeting just in the first week of the new year. Already they're putting out ideas of what they want to do. At this point, they want to keep it as is. Seems to be the story. But anyways, to trade oil, we take a lot of that with a grain of salt. Okay, on the 60 minutes here on oil, who does that look like? Kind of replica S&P, right? So we got this little pennant, and so we watch which way that breaks, basically. Keep it that simple. We're being held down by its tanking here. And this is 5.8, so we have a lot of room if we can get legs here above here. Remember, 8.8 is your resistance. Short-term oil. Pivot, we're actually under the pivot. That's because of all that work that was done yesterday afternoon. So we actually broke down after that attempt up here at 77. And the low here is 5.8, which also happens to be the breakup level. So a lot of times, in most markets, we're retesting breaks all day long, remember. And here's a good example here on oil. On the top, it's retesting this. On the down, it was retesting this. Our S1's down here at 75.5. And our R1 is going to be way up here because of what we did yesterday. And lo and behold, that's that previous high, right? So lots of confluence there. Natty gas. So as you can see, if you look at the moving stocks this morning, one of them is cold, KOLD. That is the ETF, the double ETF, or is it a triple? But anyway, for natural gas prices to fall. And lo and behold, look at this. So Natty, remember the time of the morning, you had the runs, the weather runs, and as I was saying, so this is about the warm weather here. This is Henry Hub, which basically our natural gas thing down here. So we don't have the demand for heat, and some people actually have their air conditioners on. So look at that, a nice failure there. That's been trading very clinically. Hopefully you guys have been doing well off that. It's just been in this range, right? That's your top, that's your bottom, and we're right in the middle right now with this fall down. And is there anything more to show here? So you can see that perfectly down to 1/8. We have room under here, but if you're into counting your waves, which is really the best value, I think, of Elliott wave, you don't have to get all into it. You get your 1, 2, 3. You had a long 4. Remember, 4 is usually different shape to 2. And then you got your push down here in 5 waves. So very clinical stuff. And a good study there if you want to go through that. Not much else to report. We do have numbers just dropping. Let's see what they are. As we come through here, but a very quiet day, treated as such. You could get a run. Individual stocks have been getting a run. This ISIG has been running for a few days now. Remember, though, a lot of these stocks cannot be shorted, either cash accounts or they're just not available. So they're going to be very thin. So don't be the bag holder on some of these. If you choose to play them, size accordingly, know the risk. But yeah, a lot of these things go limit down pretty quick and limit up pretty quick. So let's quickly just have a quick look at these job report. The jobs number that just came out. We had jobless claims. So yeah, any questions? Feel free. I think most of us will be pretty available today because trying to avoid trading, getting ready for the new year, or doing other things. But if you have questions, just shoot us on the socialtraders.com. Visit the website, and there's a forum there you can also join in on. So feel free to do that. And as I said, there's just really the one number today, that ISM. Number that's out today. So have a wonderful day. Let me just check if there's any other news we should share with you, or if I can share with you. More to the point. So just a few more. One stock I did mention was Johnson & Johnson. They had an encouraging update on vaccine effectiveness against hospitalization. Remember, that's I don't think anyone needs to be reminded, but that's the one that's had the blood clot situation. 10-year note yield has dropped to 152 after hitting 156 yesterday. And that's pretty well it. So everyone have a great day, and we will speak to you later.